It's only May, it's 8:30 in the morning, and it's already bloody hot. I've been in Japan 35 years now, and these summers just keep getting hotter. So today we're going to take the Transalp out, and I'll give you a few tips that might make your summer ride a bit more comfy. Japan started recording temperatures back in 1875, and back then, in August, the average temperature was a mere 24.9 degrees Celsius. Now last year, the average for August was 29.6 Celsius. Now that's an increase of about 5 degrees Celsius. So, no wonder I'm getting heat rash these days. Now just looking back at the last 5 years, the temperature went from 27.4 degrees Celsius, then 27.5, then jumped to 29, then 29 again, and then last year it was 29.6. So, the average temperature is continuing to rise at an insane speed. Now, of course, I'm going to be talking about the main area of Honshu, because Japan's a long country with subarctic climate in the far north, and it's a nice tropical climate in the far south. Now, the one good thing about summer is that the days are very long. Now, take the summer solstice, which is the longest day of the year. In Tokyo, sunrise is around 4:30 and sunset is until around 7 p.m. Geez, check out this coastline. So that means you've got about 14 hours of daylight. Now compare that to the winter solstice, where the sunrise is at 6:45, I guess, and the sunset's around 4:30. So that gives you only 9 hours of daylight. Also, if you are riding in winter, you'll have to worry about icy roads, especially in these tunnels, which always seem to have water dripping down and forming puddles. On top of that, the freezing mornings and evenings make continuous highway cruising pretty brutal and dangerous. But in summer, the warm mornings and evenings are actually the most comfortable times to ride, even if you ride during the scorching midday heat. As long as you take some breaks and manage your hydration, you can probably stay on your bike from sunrise to sunset. However, riding for hours in the heat can be exhausting. But the great thing about Japan is you can cool down at a nice beach or take a dip in a mountain river. To freshen up, you can visit one of the country's numerous public baths or hot springs, so you can get nice and clean before hitting the road again. Now, as for staying somewhere, there's nothing like hitting a futon after a long day's ride, and these days apps like booking.com will help you find these small affordable guest houses where you can get a good night's sleep for around $50 Australian. Now 20 or even 10 years ago this wasn't too possible, because if you didn't speak Japanese or read Japanese you would have a lot of trouble making a booking. Now if you're thinking about camping in Japan, things are a little bit more complicated. Now I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to motor camping in Japan, so subscribe if that interests you. Now the long summer days are really good for being outdoors, and camping in Japan can be an awesome experience, but it's not necessarily a way to save money or get a good night's sleep for that matter. So riding in summer has a lot of advantages, but it's not all good. Now along with the heat stroke, there's a real risk of accidents due to the fact that Japan has a lot of what are known as paper drivers, which, as you can guess, means people who have a license but don't really have any driving skill, because they hardly ever drive. Now these people often rent cars and go for a drive in the summer, and sometimes cause havoc on the roads. Also, I don't want to talk badly about the elderly, since I am one, but if you see one of these stickers on a car, be aware that the driver is at least over 70 and probably doesn't have the skills they used to. Now in Japan, if drivers are over 70 up to 74, it is strongly recommended they put one of these stickers on their car. But once you hit 75, it is mandatory. Now there are two versions of the sticker. There's the old maple leaf design and there's the new four-leaf clover design. I don't know why they changed, probably offended some Canadians or something. But anyway, what I want to say is having an accident in your home country is bad enough, but having one in a foreign country makes it 10 times worse. Take it from me, a Japanese hospital is not where you want to spend your holiday. Keep your best Dan the fireman skills on you. Right, let's talk about heat stroke. Now, I'm Australian, so I am used to the heat, but Japan's summer heat is next level. So if you are from a cooler country, please be careful. I mean, if you're riding along and you're starting to sweat profusely, you're starting to feel nauseous, legs are starting to cramp, that means you're already in trouble and you should pull over and get cool as quick as possible. The important thing is to stay cool and avoid getting heat stroke in the first place. Right, let's check out a Japanese bike shop and see what things are available to beat the heat. Mesh jackets are definitely the way to go in summer, and you can't beat Japanese brand Komine for value. Here's a good quality jacket, complete with some pretty decent armour for less than $100 Australian. Don't forget, if you are going to buy something in Japan, bring your passport for 10% off. Here's a jacket from more upmarket brand Taichi, and they do make some great gear, but you will pay more for made in Japan. This jacket's around $200 Australian. Here's a jacket from a Japanese brand I haven't even heard of before. It's made in Japan, comes complete with armour, around 200 Australian dollars. I really like this big pocket. Right, let's check out some high-tech gadgets to keep cool. Now the most popular one is this liquid wind system from Taichi. It's been a big seller for a long time, and it's now in its third generation. The setup basically consists of 3 parts: the main spray bottle, the specialised cooling liquid, and the matching inner shirt or vest. They're all sold separately, but you can buy them as a set. So before heading out, you pre-chill the specialised cooling liquid in the refrigerator, then you pour it into the main bottle and you connect it to the specialised gear. You put on the gear, and if you feel hot while riding, you operate the spray unit to squirt some cooling liquid on. The cooling liquid then trickles through the vest and draws heat away from your body through evaporation. Now the cooling liquid also contains menthol, which, as you probably know, gets very cold when wind hits it. Now I don't actually own one of these setups, but people who do own one say that once you've used it, you won't be able to give it up. The latest generation has an electric pump with a timer, which automatically squirts you every 5 minutes. Another cooling idea are these vests with built-in fans and batteries. They are a bit heavy. Now I do like being fanned, and being squirted on for that matter, but I don't like having heavy batteries and fans all over me. So I just use basic stuff like this gaiter. Just pour some cold water on it, put it on your neck, and that'll keep me cool for a while. Now I also buy these frozen drinks at the convenience store. You can put them inside your jacket, inside the armour pockets, and they keep you nice and cool for a while, and when they're melted, you can drink them to keep your fluids up. Also, I don't know if these are only in Japan, but they're called hyaron, and it says here, tatakeba hieru, shunkan re kyakuzai. So means give it a beating and it'll get cold. It's instant cold pack. Now, I only use these things in an emergency because, well, basically I don't like making garbage, a bag of chemicals and plastic. But if you really need an ice pack, they're pretty handy. You can buy these at the convenience store and also at drugstores. Well, that wraps up my guide to riding in Japan in summer. I'm sure you're going to have a good time, and I hope you got something out of this video and give it a like. Well, I'm going to get home and make sure my camping gear is all ready to go. Till next time, thanks for watching.